Brother. Good to see you, man.
We're sneaking these in any way we can.
Any way we can, bro. Today was awesome. It was
Yes.
awesome. Oh my gosh, I was surrounded by amazing weed with great people and a very passionate gardener.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was so much fun, bro. Where were we?
Natural Earth Craft Cannabis.
Natural.
Métis owned local guys here in the city. One of the few shops that are actually in the city of Winnipeg. And do they ever do things different anyways? So it's a little bit of a league of their own situation. And I know, like, I visited there a few times, and this was the first time for you, and
it was really cool.
It's a little bit of an overwhelming.
Yeah.
We're 4 weeks out of flower, they said.
Yeah.
But-
Week 5 they're at week 5.
Wow.
And things looked absolutely incredible. And in fact, we'll play a little bit of the footage as we talk because we can't show a whole lot of the product, but what we can do is
Some of the conversation.
Dana was the
yes.
master grower,
Yeah,
and man, this guy very knowledgeable, very passionate. Still hand waters his herb,
Mm-hmm.
which speaks volumes to putting effort in.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. And are we drinking marijuana?
We are.
We are.
We are. Mine's cream soda.
I've got orange soda.
Yeah, orange crust.
And it does kind of have an orange crust taste to it,
Yeah.
but it
The
also
cream
has
soda's pretty dead on.
it's got a bitter to it. Does it? Is it?
Yeah. I don't. This one's my favorite, and the root beer. Those two are my favorite. These sell really well.
This is really good. It's a little bitter though. It's not.
I still get a little
soda.
bit of that extract taste.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I could definitely enjoy these on a nice hot day doing some nice work out in the yard.
Yeah,
we were doing work in your yard not too long ago, just outside here, putting the door on the garage.
Yeah. We
That was a
started
lot of
taking.
fun.
That was another big day. That was driving all the way up to my place super early and starting the day off as the sun was coming up.
Yeah, I think I pulled into your driveway at 7. Or
Right.
something like that, and I live 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So I pulled in at like 7, and yeah, man, and we hit the ground running. It was a lot of fun. It was a beautiful day. We got a lot of woodworking done.
Yeah, they're broken garage doors from a super old garage, and we tore those doors out. Almost died tearing the string off when that broke. That was so funny. I mean,
That was so crazy. We're taking a
Scary.
garage door spring down. Did we get that on camera?
Yeah, but we had the time lapse running, so the only thing you'll be able to see is
It's just-
our reaction. You see the dust created by
No
the
shit
spring.
stain, and then a shit stain.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have it. It's just like it's the
Oh
the
my
clip,
God.
the moment,
We
change
were
to
so
change.
dumb. I can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
And normally I'm so cautious when it comes to like safety in the workplace and just ensuring that I'm not going to take a finger off or lose an eye. And
I'm
shit.
like, it'll be fine.
Oh my God, we're trying to take a spring off, a huge spring. It was like 2 feet, trying to pry it off with a bar, and all of a sudden it let go and doing, full tension took off, and it was within inches of hitting my foot.
Yeah.
And fuck, would that have hurt so much. Man.
Yeah, that was a bad thing.
That was horrible. But
That
that
was
was a
good.
good day.
Yeah.
And the doors came out absolutely stunning, I'll admit. I wasn't there for the finish. I was there for the
We were
the
85%
demo.
done.
Yeah, the
We get
demo.
everything torn
and
out there. They just
we
wouldn't
started
stop.
framing.
Yeah.
We started framing. We put it together, and then it was just a little more to assemble. But once they got up, it looked really good.
Yeah, we consumed a lot throughout the day. We had some good food. We barbecued or something that day. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, it was just like those are nice days when you get to go out and do those things and participate a little bit. We did. You helped me with the truck. Doing that when my truck broke down returning from a dump run.
Yeah, that was before I got the electric car, and I was still driving my half-ton out, 3-hour trip.
Yeah.
And we spent the afternoon getting the truck out.
Out for a hockey tournament.
Yeah, that's what it was. Out for a hockey tournament. That's what it was.
Staying at our place.
Yep.
I was like, hey, my truck broke down. Conveniently, you're here with
Conveniently,
your
I
truck.
brought
Let's
my
go
truck.
grab that.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, it's a lot easier to travel with hockey gear and luggage and get to where you need to be with the truck versus the little tiny.
And you've got everything on your recording gear and everything too.
Yep.
Well, there's footage of this.
Convenient.
And
Yeah, got some good stuff.
Yeah.
There's some good footage of it, and that was a lot of fun too. There's nothing like getting out, having fun, consuming a little bit of weed, and
Taking a hoop break in between towing the truck.
Lots
yeah.
Lots of hoop breaks.
Yeah, that. And then the last thing we did was studio renos.
Studio, actually, that was this past week.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons we're not in the space as things get completed
it's
before.
just finishing up.
Next week stuff. But that was a fun thing. I mean, we moved a wall. You get quite a bit more space in there. There's gonna be. You picked up like 250 square feet.
Yeah, about I'd say about 200 square feet. Yeah,
and then
close.
Ballpark.
Yeah, like it took up half my basement. I got 1,000 square foot.
Yeah, like exactly. Like you've got to be about 500 square feet right now.
Yep. Yeah. So it was really nice.
So much room for
activities, dancing. The biggest thing that I really enjoy is actually I got to do it yesterday while I was streaming. Was that I've got the tents in the studio space now, so I can just walk over there. People are like, "What? How are the plants doing, Pigeons?" And I'm just like, "Well, let's go find out." Yep, they're right there. Let's go. Bring them out. And they're right there. Before I'd have to go walk around.
It seems it's so weird because it's like the evolution. A little bit of it's got to be like the normalization of it being in your home. Your kid's a little bit older. It's become your career and stuff too, because there was always that goal of like, oh, I have my own place and I'm going to have this grow room and we're going to like designate this area and it's going to be all there. It's going to be great. And then here you are tearing down walls because you're like, I don't want to walk into another room. It's stupid.
Right.
This should just be right here.
It should be here. Yeah. And
it's kind of like a mechanic with like having their garage right off their living room or something, right? So you can just go work on your bike.
Totally. I remember back when when you were renovating your shop.
Oh, when we were renovating
at Black Tie. And converting your office space into kitchen space, into storage space, making it so that you have a home away from home, making it so that it's a space that works for you.
Especially early on, because it was like I was here a lot.
You lived here.
Yeah.
You had to, right?
Yeah.
So, 100%. It's just making a space work for you, and that's what the studio is all about. And it just means big things are happening. Expansions are happening, and I have dreams of having designated recording areas. I put up a green screen spot so that I can record specific stuff and
without having to
just have a constant screen.
Turn
it up all the time, and it's great. It's really great. And I got 3 more sheets of plywood that need to go up to just finish her all up, but. Yeah, it's just really nice. It's really nice to be there. So, it was nice. Thank you for your help, by the way.
Hey,
it was
welcome.
good. We were able to eat some good eats and smoke some good treats and have a good time.
There was one time I was like sitting on the floor with my iPad because I had to do something for work really quick, and I like have the bong next to me, and I'm like warming up with the torch so I can like take a dab as I'm out there at the same time, and you guys are like moving stuff around. I'm like, I'm almost done.
Yep.
I'm just taking a little longer.
Doing work.
Because the bong's here, and I might as well.
Working away from work, yeah, that's it. No, it was fun, man, and it just kind of reminded me of today, man, because like in general, it's like that's what this podcast is about, man, being highly motivated, and all the projects that we do and all the time we spend together. Cannabis is a big part of that, and that's important.
It's the stuff that's around our life, and that was kind of neat about with being with Natural Earth today and getting to go see the operation. And talking with Dana, and like you said, the type of hands-on approach with like head watering, all of this stuff.
Oh gosh, so
and the way they design their grow room to accommodate himself, because this is his thing. This is his hands-on every day. What goes on, how it gets taken care of. Mm-hmm. They talk about not being a non-irradiated product and everything, and so like you have to take these extra steps. You have to go through these procedures. You have to give it the attention to be able to accommodate that,
right.
And to accomplish it, I should say.
Yep.
So it's just it's that small farm, small business, little mom and pop shop type of situation where you get to have all the benefits of like you've got to do everything yourself, but it's like it's the benefit of you've got to do everything yourself. It's what it creates the team members they have.
That's the difference between big canna and craft canna.
Specialists versus a manager of something.
Right. Yeah. Big canna is losing grasp because unfortunately they're not providing quality product to the people at an affordable price.
And we already have an abundance of it.
Yeah. And so that's why craft cannabis is, in my opinion, not just starting, but maintaining relevancy because they are passionate about the product. They care about the product, They're willing to give the time, effort, and energy and the patience that this product needs. And
Right.
talking to Dana today, the master grower, I hate the term master grower. I just think
But that's his Health Canada designation. That's what the form says. Yeah.
And that, I get it. But the reality is that it drives me nuts that we have to call, it seems like master shredder. You know what I mean? I am master shredder. But anyways, he's the master grower, and that is what it is. And hats off to him. And listening to him talk about the product and enthusiastic and excited to get us to get our noses in there and to squish the bud, and that was awesome.
Well, like the canopy treatment, the fact that living soil, so they just he plucks a leaf and he just drops it. Just there. That's for decomposition.
Yeah, he's feeding the soil.
Yeah.
So
you're just going through and picking.
It's important to note too that as we sit here and talk about it, that this is the only living organic soil cultivator, micro grower in the province.
Yeah,
they've been able to pull out terpenes that have previously been unidentified or not unidentified,
just non-dominant within that strain,
yeah, or non-existent.
Yeah,
like non-existent, and then all of a sudden, and I'm gonna find the spot on the footage where he said it because I made him say it twice. Which terpene it is? Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it's just whether or not we're pronouncing it right, and that's the thing. I'd like to remember how the hell he said it today. But it's like nidorol or nidorol.
Yeah. And so this is a specific terpene that is only really prevalent within living organic soil because there's a condition within the environment or a habitat of the soil that pulls this out. That to me is really fascinating because not only does it kind of just like give credence or
validation
to the process. Thank you. It just you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're adding something to a strain that doesn't normally have it under regular growing conditions.
It's good. Not like you're adding mold or something. Yeah.
No, you're not adding mold. Yeah.
But it's good. Yeah, it's quality, and I really enjoyed it. And we had the opportunity of smoking some of it. Yeah. There was a few. Do you remember the names? Because they always get past me.
All the strains
just the ones we smoked.
Tam. And
what was that big orange one?
The big orange ones, the orange tings.
What was it? No. There was one, or no. There was one. There was big nugs sitting on the table, and I took more pictures of one.
Yeah. That's an unreleased thing. That was from a test crop.
Oh,
yeah. We did.
Oh, we did.
We did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
we didn't smoke it.
No,
we did. We did. Okay, good. That was really good. That was really tasty. Really enjoyed that. And, I enjoyed.
And that didn't even make the cut.
And that didn't make the cut. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. That's really cool.
But again, that's the type of attention and stuff that they can deal with and hold on to where they get to play that game. And Dana is, I know from previous conversations with him, he's a medical user and grower and stuff. So he utilizes his ability to grow at home to pre-run a lot of things.
Yeah, that's really cool.
He gets, because they operate off of clones, it helps them because it kind of guarantees some, they get a warranty with the clones and such, and it doesn't take away from their licensing. And with that square footage that they have now, it really doesn't, it would take away space and plant count, right, from them. So it just allows them to have something that they can play with things a little bit more, try some stuff out, and it's just kind of nice to have.
One of the most important things he said, which I loved, was that they smoke their own product, they take it home, they rely on it, they grow it, they try it, they test it. That to me speaks volumes about a grower, about a cultivator, about a facility. You're using your own product. Like my buddy, shout out to my buddy Rob. He was at this facility that I won't name, but people in the higher ups didn't even smoke it, man. And so they had to pay people to test it for them. And I'm like, well, how do you know if it's good?
Right.
And that's frustrating, man. So, or not frustrating, but that's ludicrous. So that struck me as something that I thought was special because someone who's going to consume their own product and enjoy it is one to me that's says that it's got to be good.
Yeah, and that's it's where the direction or the foundation of the passion, which I find interesting in a lot of entrepreneurs, is where did it start from? and with a guy like that, where he wants to create the good product for himself, as you do with your grow, then the rest of it takes care of itself, because the end goal is just to benefit you in mind. Really, it's not in a selfish way. It's just that if you're going to put the effort into it, I want to make sure that I'm getting something out of this that is going to benefit me.
For sure.
And the big positive for him is that's also the way he feeds his family. That's also 100%. His job, and so that effort, that care, attention to detail makes it so that the business can be successful, on top of the fact that the product is just great.
Yeah, and if I'm thinking when I'm editing this, if you're watching this back and you haven't seen any B-roll, it's because we got a lot of pictures of the product. YouTube does not like the picture of the product.
Yeah,
this is not my first rodeo, so
not there.
Right. So, if you're not seeing, I want you to check out our Instagram, because we are going to be posting photos of the product over there on Instagram, and you'll see our adventure through there. And in fact, I already posted a picture today. And
I think we can we'll have to double check this, but I think we could probably put together something that we throw directly on the website.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah, I think that could be done as well too. So if we do that, we'll link that below in the video as well. So make sure you got
check it, because it was like the things that he said and all the footage, because like I said, like I enjoyed the fact that they smoked their own product, and there was another.
Just put up their logo every time there's stuff going on, and Dana's just like saying some real gold. It's just like
right, yeah. Censored.
Yeah.
No, it really just proves to me, like, how do you remember 1,800 plants? Is that what they said? 1,800 plants, and this guy still hand waters his plants.
Yeah.
And
the room used to be their storage for. They used to have a lawn care equipment company.
Yeah.
And so they used to have tractors and lawnmowers and all this equipment and stuff in there, and they cleaned that out, and they did all that refinishing with the cleanable walls and floor and everything.
Oh, it looks great.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it. It's like this place. People come in like, this is beautiful. What was this before? An old bar? And I'm like, no, it was an M&M meat shops. Like, this is purpose built.
Oh, black tie.
Yeah. And it's like that place. It's like, he used to have tractors and stuff parked over there, and their cars were parked in here for the winter or something. Right. And now it's look at all these beautiful plants. You'd never know. It's high-tech equipment everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. No, they wouldn't. And the plants were incredibly gorgeous. It says they bring them in at 2 weeks, or they bring them in, and the clones are only about 6 inches high. They veg them for 2 weeks, flip them, and the lollipops. The bottoms of the gardens were about 8 to 10, 12 inches high, of no foliage, no buds. It was completely lollipopped, so you could just see.
It's just been no time in veg.
No, none.
Yeah.
No. And ideally when you are doing clones, that's one of the benefits, is that you don't have to worry about the seedling stage, which can sometimes be 2-3 weeks long, based on how long it takes to pop out of the husk and seed and stuff.
Really established.
Right. So, yeah, his work was very obvious, and it was very cool to see him peel off the leaves and just toss them back in. And
it's just as we're talking, and he was doing it too. Kind of
still always working. He's noticing all this, thinking that we're noticing, and we don't know. We ain't noticing nothing. It's beautiful. Well, I just mean in terms of his imperfection. Like, he's looking at me going like, "Oh, I need to remove that." Yeah. We're just sitting there like, "Oh,
everything's amazing."
Yeah.
We're at the chocolate factory. And, I get it.
Yeah.
And it's here they are with an HPS setup, which is becoming incredibly rare. Like, I remember your original it was an incredible basic. It was for doing 1 or 2 plants at the most at a time. Really, it was a 1 plant setup light, but it was LED. And early on, I bought it because I was doing grow cabinets where I was living.
I don't know if I saw that.
No, I think I lent you the light once.
Yeah.
To try, and you used it supplementary or something. It was a lighthouse or something, and a little rectangle guy, and that was years and years ago when it was still a conversation. People weren't on board yet.
Yeah.
And then as things developed, and watching you switch, and then watching what you were producing, and then what you were producing after.
You were using technology though, like very early technology.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough to do what you were doing with the HVS by any means. No. I was not able to produce.
Well,
I just could do good into my little cabinet.
And small. That's right.
Right.
You could get
my one little plant in the cabinet.
One plant in a small area, small space. That's the thing, right?
It was fine.
But now LEDs are stepping up, and that's what they said. They're going to be switching over to LEDs because they're moving. I don't know if we can say that or not, but
the yellows.
Yeah, well, they did say it on the. I told them everything was on the record. Except for the one thing.
Yeah, and they just bought a new facility. It was to the unfortunate situation of another grow company. But it allowed them to really move into a basically ready to go thing. Yeah,
was that turnkey?
Turnkey, yeah. We've got some ideas and how they're going to create some efficiencies and switch some things around. But it was a great start. All LED, and it still gives them all their smart control for their humidity and lights and everything else. But now without they get quite the hydro bill out of that space.
Right.
So
you would.
Yeah, right. I mean, he was talking about in the dead of winter that they run the lights at night to help counteract the heat, like to heat the building, and they still have to cool the building down in the middle of winter.
In the winter, they don't run any heat.
Minus 30, minus 20s, minus 30 here in Manitoba.
Minus 40. We're talking Canadian.
Yeah, in Canadian
not
units.
Freedom units.
Yeah. In Celsius, we pound that stuff out pretty bad. We can have minus 40, minus 50 storms
for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So the fact, sitting at minus 30 for a week is not abnormal in the middle of winter. So, and for them to have to still air condition that room in the middle of winter is pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You think they create a little bit of heat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there'll be that adjustment for them.
Free air
conditioning, yeah.
Open the windows, let her buck.
Yeah,
let her come
the door open.
Yeah. Jeez. And you're not worried about bugs? Yeah. Or at least not from coming from the outside in, anyways.
No, not that time of year.
But bugs was something that they were actually very open about. He said, unfortunately, having such an organic living soil, it's gonna be inevitable that you're gonna have bugs.
How do you know?
And so his techniques, between parasitic wasps,
he was certified. I didn't know about that.
The grass. Certified what?
For dealing with
pests,
parasitic pests.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
I can't remember what the term was. I mean, we've got it on footage, but he talked about that he's actually certified for control.
Oh, I'll have it. Okay, I'll have it. It was hard to hear for the first little bit because I was at the back.
Yeah.
But then, I'm glad.
I was just dropping bug names, like no big deal, because it was like his thing, and I was like, that's and that's the thing. She was just he took the steps to get really knowledgeable of that, but look what it does for the control. He has these. It's like free labor.
Yeah.
You're
absolutely right.
Right?
Yep, you're absolutely right.
It's cost reduction. It's all this stuff just because he has some knowledge and technique. Those are like those extra skills, the extra things that people are doing. They're like, how are you doing that so well?
Right.
And it's little stuff like that.
You mentioned it earlier. The key is that they are not radiating their product either.
Right.
So some massive places that are going to have issues like this aren't worried about it because they're just going to zap it with radiation.
People really complain about some of the stuff, especially from big grows, the quality on the Canadian cannabis market. There's a lot of incredible stuff, but there's a lot of garbage. The one thing, though, is that especially Health Canada's specifications outline, I'm not using the right words, but for toxicity levels, heavy metals, all the mold is like really stringent and really has to be quite low. We talk about the stuff with the THC numbers being fibbed, but these aren't things that get messed. That's not what's making their money. So there's not a lot of care there. And so the quality of the product, I can't speak for 100% of it, but overall it's got to be pretty good under those conditions. From talking to growers and hearing about the issues that they've had with product or like what it takes to make Health Canada happy. So for them to do that and still not want to take the steps where they could just be like, radiate it, and they can solve all that because it takes so much to prevent those infestations, the mildews, all that stuff.
Yeah, that also means too, if you're not addressing it before it happens, there's a lot more waste.
Yeah.
Because you are going to have bugs, you are going to have contamination because you're not addressing it. So you're just wasting all that product. And if you're not wasting it, who are you selling it to?
Right.
That's even worse. Right, so it just leaves a lot of like holes in the system when it comes to big canna versus craft canna. And I think I found us the title of this epi.
Yeah.
But the thing is like when listening to Dana and hearing of his enthusiasm about the plant and his desire to bring it to the people, but not just bring it to the people, but bring the people a great product. That was important, and I just love hearing that. You don't hear that when I'm surfing through MJ BizCon and I'm going through the businesses within the.
But nobody has onus over the plant themselves. You're not talking to the person that is spending time. But there's so many pay tiers down that you never get to even.
But but you're right. But I'm still talking to somebody who's trying to sell me a huge can of pod that I'm going to be able to take somewhere and grow in. When in reality, that pod isn't going to do anything for me in northern Canada when the winter is, like we were talking, very cold.
You're still putting it inside of a building.
Right.
I mean, you're controlling. You can take steps to control stuff.
That's great.
Right. You've got a tent. You've got a really expensive tent.
Yeah,
that's true.
So again, I'm not bringing anything to anyone else. You know, innovation needs to be there, and you know, equipment and anything.
Certainly,
the market will decide what's relevant, what's not, what's necessary, what isn't. But you know, again, it just really motivated me to hear Dana and Adam have a conversation in regards to what they see as, you know, their path in trying to provide the world with great product.
Yeah, like Adam, who basically the director there, kind of helps plan out what they're dealing with strains. I mean, he works very closely with Dana because Dana's like, okay, we can work with this and the way we grow things, because growing seed green method like that, like that's not in every strain can deal with that, right? The way things grow, how the plant grows can prevent it from really being effectively done. And at the end of the day, it's got to be commercially viable for them. Yeah. It can't just be like, oh, this grows great weed, but we get like one bud of plant.
Man,
they got to pay the bills. They got to keep the lights on.
100%. These guys, they had an entire field. I mean, it's not a field. I don't know what you can call an indoor herb garden, but they had an entire row and row of product, and Dana says all this is for pre-rolls.
Right.
I was like, what do you mean? And of course, there's no larf, there's no bottom buds, there's nothing. It was all stripped off.
That's the thing.
You're telling me all this premium buds going to pre-rolls?
Yeah.
Yes.
That excites me. I think they split most of their harvest when they're doing stuff like that. I mean, I think it varies. But, you know, they do put a little bit more, they sell more pre-rolls than they do flour. But it's like a 60-40 splits, 70-30 split that the harvest goes into pre-rolls. And that's not taking bottoms, that's not there. That's like, no, this portion of it is going to that. Yeah.
God, that's awesome. I remember when I was in Vegas, or was it LA? Vegas. And, you know, Rob opens up a pre-roll, a cookies pre-roll, and before he even gets it to his mouth, like as he's pulling it out, it all just falls out on his lap. And
dumped out of the end of the pre-roll.
That's not supposed to happen.
No.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen, and you know that and there's multiple variables, but those variables are the problem.
It's the shake that's gone in through the pre-roll machine, and they're just doing the tapper and all that stuff. And then that's the thing that just falls out, because there was never moisture to bind anything in there to begin with. You know, it's just dry shit the whole time, and that stuff just falls right out, especially if it's not folded, full tipped end and stuff. And that's not that doesn't work out. You can every day. I'd rather have a mild canoeing issue because of how resinous something's becoming as I'm smoking it. And that's the thing too, is like we've talked recently-ish about infused guys and busy people, but infused pre-rolls, and it's incredible when you're smoking stuff that is cured. You know, like that place too, they hang dry in the same room they're growing in, and everything, and then he's like, basically we just like leave it alone for almost a couple of weeks because the humidity is controlled and everything there, and they can play that game. So that's going to be a great thing for them too. Once they get into, they'll be able to start to grow right away because they actually have dry rooms, cure rooms. But that having to take those extra steps, having to take that process out of it too, is just going to be.
And they've got to figure out if anyone's going to do it, it's them, because it was a hell of a tour, full of information.
Was it worth getting up so early and driving out?
Yeah, it was. What time was that? Like I went to bed at 2 and I was up at 4:45.
Right.
So yeah, I got a little
then
nap.
Drove for almost 3 hours.
And at 2.
Or no, yeah, 2.
2.5.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
come all the way to your house.
Right.
Yeah. We went to Natural Earth there, and great little facility, man. Great spot. A little nook in the wall.
I had breakfast for you ready.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
I had breakfast for everybody.
Yep, it was good.
It was nice.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could do it. But that's a hell of a day, man. That was a great episode. If anyone wants to reach out to us or have any questions, comments, concerns, you can reach out to highlymotivatedproductions.ca. And if you have any comments, we're on Instagram as well. Instagram, Highly Motivated Productions on Instagram. And you can leave comments and see what's going down. Thank you guys so much for putting up with our episodes. We appreciate you. That's Chris. I'm Pigeons. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Peace.